Welcome to Pixels, Polygons, and Fun, a video game podcast where we talk about anything under the video game sun. I am your host, Raging Gingy. Along with me today is my very excited co-host, Mr. Pegasus. How are you, buddy?
I'm just like starstruck. You can tell the listeners why in a minute, but yeah, I'm hyped for this episode.
And we also have another special guest with us today, Mr. Rohane. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. It means a lot to us that you're coming on, man.
It's really exciting to be here. I love not little, but I love helping out other content creators where I can. I apologize ahead of time to your listeners. My normal dulcet tones are sadly not that great, as with the season change, I have come down with a bit of a head cold.
They're still angelic, though.
I wouldn't go that far.
Rohan, your voice was a gift from the gods, and you better treat it as such.
Oh dear.
Sure.
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our show. But first, gotta make a quick phone call, so we'll be right back, you guys.
Yes, I see. Good news, everyone!
Welcome to our first segment, you guys. We'll have some news stories to bring up to you. First thing I wanted to talk to you guys about that we won. Sony has finally confirmed the PSN name change. You guys hear about this?
They're gonna rename PlayStation Network?
No, the opportunity to change your profile name. Like you can do with Xbox, change your gamer tag.
Was that not a thing you could do?
Not on
No,
PSN.
it wasn't. They did not have the technology. At least, I'm sure that's what they'll say.
Oh, by the way, quick story really quick. I don't know if Rohan knows about this yet. He'll get a real kick out of it if he doesn't. So, my name is now stuck on Twitch for the next 58 days as Jolly Loves Bidoof 6969.
How did you get sucked into this?
I told Jolly. Jolly said he was starting a new Nuzlocke, and I said if it isn't the Platinum Revenge Tour, I'm changing my name to Jolly Loves Bidoof 6969. And it wasn't the Revenge Tour, so I changed it, and I realized that Twitch said that you have to wait 60 days to reverse a name change.
Oof.
So now for the next 2 months, my name on Twitch is Jolly Loves Bidoof 6969.
That is both amazing and maybe a little bit sad.
But I was pulling this stuff from GameSpot. Currently, the feature will only be available to PlayStation users that have registered as beta testers for the software betas. And similar to how
such advanced technology that needs to be closely beta tested.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how PlayStation built their network.
I wonder if it'll be a thing that you'll be able to do on the PS3 as well, or if they won't bother.
I don't know. From what it says here, to make the change, the authorized users can access the feature through the settings menu or via the profile page of your PS4. So I don't think you can do it on PS3.
Oof. Maybe PlayStation will allow you to do it through its website as well, hopefully.
Right, and then the first name change will be free, and then just like how it is for Xbox, it'll cost $10 to change after that.
What, really?
Yeah. Or if you're a PlayStation Plus member, it'll cost $5 to change.
That's a nice chunk of change for changing your name.
Right.
Literally some pixels, and it costs you a kidney and a half.
I'll probably
And
use my free name change and change my gamer tag to what it should be. Change it to Pegasus the Gamer.
say the one thing that has me a little worked up is that the new feature won't be compatible with all games. It'll only be compatible with PS4 games released after, and I kid you not, April 1st, 2018. The majority of most played PS4 games released before this date, PlayStation is making it clear that not all PS4, PS3, and PS Vita games are guaranteed to support the new feature. So we might see issues or errors in certain games, and if you run into the error, you can change your name back to the original ID, and that should be able to fix the problem.
After you pay Sony money to change it back.
No, you don't have to pay them to change your name back.
Oh, okay.
So if I understand this correctly, it should work for most stuff, but there's a chance
Yes.
that it couldn't, and if it doesn't, it has a chance of breaking your games.
Yeah. I would assume, from what I understand, like game saves won't sync if your name changes.
Never mind, I'm not changing my name.
That'd be the stupidest thing to like tie game saves to. They're tied to your name as opposed to some other arbitrary.
They should probably be tied to, like, your system memory.
Thank you, yes.
Like, it's not even like your PlayStation. I don't know if this holds true on PlayStation 4, but on PlayStation 3, your profile, like that you log into at the beginning and it has your game saves, and your PSN are two separate things. Like, my profile could be named like the boy 487, and my PSN could be something completely different.
It's true. But that. Have you guys ever played, in the next story I wanted to mention real quick, have you guys ever played the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp?
No.
Have you, Peg?
No, I have not.
Oh. Following the surprise reveal yesterday, there is a special Pokemon collaboration event in Pocket Camp. This event will run from now until 6 o'clock UTC. I honestly am drawing a brain fart on what that time is. UTC. Not exactly too familiar with it.
Ultimate temporal.
It's coordinated universal time, basically. It's blah, 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 blah.
So there you go. It's coordinated universal time. My weird name for it kind of makes sense now. Universal temporal constant.
It's basically like what GMT used to be.
I getcha. Yeah, from now until 6 UTC on October 23rd, you will essentially have a little scavenger hunt in the game for Pokeballs around the island, so you can craft a variety of different Eevee focused items. You can get like a little Eevee costume for your character. You can get a giant Eevee plush to sit in your camp, and a bunch of other Pokeball items as well. I thought was pretty cool.
I still can't get over that meme you posted in the Memes R Us channel on our Discord, which you can join, by the way, if you didn't know.
Are you talking about you've heard of Elf on the Shelf? Now get ready for Eevee.
You've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Now get ready for Eevee on the TV.
I'm so going to do that in my house. I've already told my wife she's down with it. We're going to have Eevee on a TV now, folks.
Yes.
Well, and this is a perfect transition to the next story I wanted to talk about. Speaking of Eevee, we are fast approaching the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee release. And I am pulling this from Cerebi, which is where I go for all my Pokemon news. A new event distribution has been announced for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. This event is to run in Pokemon centers across Japan for players when they visit the stores in their birthday month. This distribution provides the Pokemon Chansey. And if it's the month of your birthday when you go to the Pokemon Center from November 16, 2018, you'll receive a serial code of Chansey to redeem in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Get that free chansey. Don't spend the rest of your waking existence hunting for it in the Safari Zone.
But is this exclusive to Japan?
I haven't heard any news yet as far as if it's going anywhere else, but
I mean, if it goes anywhere in America, I imagine it's only going to be Nintendo World. Maybe GameStop's. If we're lucky.
I'd say I hope not.
Yeah.
I'd say, which version are you getting, Rohan? Are you planning on getting any of the Let's Go titles?
Probably Eevee, because my wife would shank me if I chose anything else.
Oh, you wouldn't want that.
Pikachu? Or is your wife pro Pikachu and doesn't want to have the
No,
same
my wife is very much pro Eevee. Best birthday present investment was getting her the Eevee from Build-A-Bear.
I've met my share. I've met my fair share of Pikachu haters in my day.
All right.
Pikachu's adorable.
Who doesn't love Pikachu?
I'll quote Jolly here. Who doesn't like Pikachu? Communist. That's who.
And the last news that I wanted to bring up for you guys. We all are looking forward to Smash Bros. Ultimate, right?
Of course.
Yes.
It has been confirmed, though text only, that during Greninja's final smash, it has been changed. Greninja will now transform into the Ash Greninja form.
I figured. That was pretty much a guarantee.
And we don't know if it's just an aesthetic change. And, we don't know if it still is similar to the previous Final Smash for Greninja, but just know it will be running around with the giant ass shuriken.
I hope it's like Lucario and Charizard's where he transforms for a short time.
True. And then I don't know if this is necessarily newsworthy, but
oh boy,
we are rapidly approaching potential release for Gen 4 of Pokemon and Pokemon Go.
Yeah, we got a little teaser. Got some little Turtwig leaves sticking out of the grass, and we got little Chimchars silhouettes in the volcanoes.
But say, have you seen the trailer, Rohan?
I have seen the trailer. I'm quite excited.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know necessarily if I wanted to bring this up as news because we don't have any concrete.
Well, it is news because now it's concretely confirmed that it's coming.
Right, but the speculation so far is that Gen 4 Pokemon will start releasing on October 23rd, which is the date after Mewtwo disappears from the raid battles.
Oh no, Rohan's favorite Pokemon is leaving.
No.
Well, for now, he'll be back. I mean, we have Deoxys for the EX raids, which I'm kind of pissed off. I'll get into that on my play segment. But do you guys have any news you would like to bring up?
No.
So, I suppose I have a little bit of news. I came a little bit prepared. I don't know how many of your viewers are Blizzard fanatics or play Blizzard games, but for those unaware, BlizzCon is coming up at the beginning of November, and Diablo has its own little 45-minute chunk presentation time. It's considered a main stage event, which is very exciting for Diablo fans, as it's been about 6-7 years since Diablo 3 was first originally released.
Right.
So there's much speculation that there's going to be some Diablo-related news. Some are speculating that it may be a new Diablo title or a remaster of Diablo 2. Basically, speculation is all over the place. But yeah, it's that little fun bit of news.
Sweet. I can't wait. I'm going to get myself a copy of Diablo 3 for my Switch.
I'm told that the release of Diablo 3 on the Switch went very smoothly, and it's actually a lot of fun to play.
I would hope so.
Do you think, in your opinion, is it plausible that, let's say, Overwatch could be ported to the Switch?
I would say it's possible. I mean, you already have Overwatch on, I think, either Xbox or PlayStation. I can't remember which.
It's on both.
Oh, it's on both? Okay. Well, in that case, yeah. I would be very surprised if they didn't do that. Maybe not within the next, 6 months to a year, but probably after that.
Right. All right, Pegasus, if you don't have anything else to contribute, we'll go ahead and drop the news here and jump into our second segment.
Yep, I don't really have any game news on me.
All right, you guys, we'll go ahead and drop it here, and we will be back in a minute. We'll see you soon. And welcome to our second segment, where we will generally talk about what we've been up to the last week, video game wise, or anything else you want to share. Mr. Rohane, what have you been up to this last week, sir?
So this last week, I have been playing 2 games that I've been working on. The first one is Darkest Dungeon, a fun game that while I've owned for quite some time, I've only just now been getting into it and playing through the story and the campaigns. It was originally released January 19th, 2016 by publisher Red Hook Studios. It's a turn-based RPG dungeon crawler, very reminiscent of the old Final Fantasy games, and it's turn-based. You have to go ahead.
No, I was about to say, what console is this on?
This is on PC, but you can obtain Darkest Dungeon on Xbox as well, and I think PlayStation. No Nintendo products have it, I don't think, although I could be wrong.
Turn-based RPGs are they're my genre. They're like my favorite genre of game. I want to give this Darkest.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. At least in my opinion, it's very grueling in some ways because you have to manage your hero's health as well as their sanity, their mental health, and there's a chance that your heroes might very well snap underneath the pressure and the horrors that they are encountering. One of the fun things I like to do in that game is name my heroes after friends and family. So nice. There's a little bit of personal attachment as Jolly proceeds to snap mentally and murder all of his teammates.
Oh dear.
You better name one of your heroes, Pegasus.
I will make sure to name my next hero that I hire Pegasus.
I was about to say, and I looked it up for curiosity, Rohane. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It looks like Darkest Dungeon is out on the Switch.
Oh, well, there you go.
Sweet. Continue on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
He did once tell me that I was his favorite, so.
The other game that I've been playing, and this one is just kind of like a more, funsy time waster game. It's called Learn to Fly 3. It's the adventures. It's free to play. You can get it on Steam, and I think you can also play it on, I believe Congregate.com is where it originally started on. But you're basically a penguin. It's trying to fly and get out into space.
Well, you have my attention.
Got Penguin Mage's attention.
Yeah. So you're a penguin, you're trying to fly, you go out into space. It's very similar to like the old Flash cannon shooting games where you try to, shoot yourself out of a cannon and keep surpassing distance, and you get money, and you can buy upgrades to assist your penguiny dreams of reaching out to touch the moon. It's kind of like a watered down, less complicated, less sciencey needing version of Kerbal Space Program.
Hmm.
It's nice when you don't really have enough mental brain power to go through and learn an entire new game. Like if you have a head cold.
Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Anything else you've done last week besides those games and fighting a terrible head cold?
Besides work, head code. Besides work
It's
and
been a long day.
yeah, no, not really much other than those two. I might look at some other games that I've kind of pushed back and collected and not finished.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the two that I'm playing right now.
Okay.
Having some issues with your head code. You might want to see Celeste about that.
Probably.
All right, Pegasus, what have you been up to this last week?
Okay, I have a couple stories to tell, but first I want to tell a story because I didn't want to interrupt Rohan.
Go for it.
I briefly mentioned I want to tell this funny backstory of why I'm Rohan's favorite. It was like, just real quick, it was when because when I started listening, Tom wasn't around much, Tom Archer, Trainer Mimic, and then he came back and started being active in the Discord, and I'm like, oh no, my status is favorite is jeopardized, and I started joke fighting over being the favorite, and Rohan was like, you're my favorite, Peg, and I was just like, yes.
Aww.
That's basically how that went down.
I know I'm Mess's favorite too. He tries to deny it. Anyway.
I'm no one's favorite. It's okay though. It's all
you
right.
can be my second favorite.
All right.
Close enough. Anyway. So, I played a lot of Smash this week with some friends. It was really fun because I just got Smash for the Wii U again, as I reported a couple weeks ago. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I played it with Miss Penguin online, and I played it with my buddies Silas and Noah IRL. I actually did play with Penguin and Disco Sniper. He joined in for a couple of our matches. And, am I still there, by the way?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, you're good.
Just making sure. Sometimes my Discord hates me and decides to not work. Anyway, so yeah, there was that. And I have a couple of stories about these games that I did actually stream on my YouTube. First was the regrettably most popular game in current media, Fortnite. I streamed that for about 30 minutes, and I was terrible, and the game was terrible because of Fortnite. What was funny is I was with my friend who actually likes Fortnite. He started he was like, you gotta watch the cinematic to know what's going on this season. And I'm like, I don't care though. I hate Fortnite. I'm just playing it waiting for somebody so I can stream Undertale. And my friend's yelling at me to watch this cinematic that's supposed to explain what's going on. And I'm like, dude, can you stop? I really don't care. So anyway, yeah, I played that, and then I did stream Undertale for the second time. I'm going through the Pacifist run for the first time ever. And
Nice.
It's my game. This game is so good. It's a turn-based RPG, which I had mentioned before is my favorite type of game. The comedy is on point. The writing is so good. And the story is really deep and good. I really enjoy it. And I streamed it for an hour or so. And I got a couple of new viewers and subscribers out of it, so that was nice. So I'm definitely going to continue Undertale.
Cool.
As for other games, I guess this is news to Rohan. Rohan, you got to keep it hush hush until podcast comes out, because this is super spoopy secrets.
Uh-oh.
Me and Gingy and Patrick, the Blastburn Radio episode where I announced it in an email will be out by this point, but me, Gingy, and Patrick actually started our own Pokemon World Tour with Red, Blue, Yellow starting out.
Ah!
Yeah. Patrick's playing your version. Patrick's in yellow. Let's see if he loses his Pikachu to Misty.
That's still bullshit.
But yeah, if it makes you feel any better, Rohane, his Pikachu,
Do
because we
not
did.
even. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to bring up
Okay.
my failed Nuzlocke run. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
His Pikachu did Cycle 1 PvP after Brock. Pat's Pikachu absolutely murderated my entire team.
Okay, there's hope.
Yeah, that Pikachu was like deadly.
I'll make sure to send him a message and tell him to not teach Eradicate Ice Beam.
It's required. Like once we get to X and Y, like if I win Black and White and we get to X and Y where I think you can get a rat, I'm gonna be like, all right, here's the rule: if you get a Rattata, you have to teach it Ice Beam.
Grim. This won't end up well.
Well, probably not.
I'm still sad that we didn't get to see Poofy shoot ice at Lance's Dragons.
It would have probably actually done some good.
I mean, nothing even died that week, which was very, very surprising. Because Comet was ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, the first World Tour week went very good for Patrick. He swept PvP. I got the additional point because Gingy, not Rohane wasn't playing with us. Gingy was noble and realized that his Rattata had more
I want to talk
attack
about it.
than it should have and let it die. And then I won against his Squirtle. I know you're sad, but you'll do better. You have a chance to do hard mode this week and get 70 points, so.
All right, but it's Misty, though, and that Starmie is scary.
I mean, true. So yeah, that's my week in video gaming, pretty much.
Oh, I myself, I haven't really been doing much. I've been playing, my normal staples of Pokemon Go, a little bit of Jurassic World. They've been playing that new RPG, Dragalia Lost. I've actually been getting a lot of progress done in that, and I just got the Jumpstart endeavors done. So I got a special ticket summon thing that I used.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a fantastic RPG. Rohan, if you haven't heard of it, man, I recommend playing it.
You'll have to shoot me some information. What's it called again?
Dragalia Lost.
Dragalia Lost.
It's an RPG for mobile made by Nintendo.
Huh.
It just came out. It's really simple gameplay. You can play the entire game holding it with just one hand.
Ooh, well, okay then.
I played that throughout the week. Raising the 2-year-old. I have been slowly getting him into video games, and I've been playing the
another video
Netflix.
game this week, Shinji?
No, he played the same one. I was played a few games on the Switch as well. Kirby Star Allies. I've played Human Fall Flat, but I've also played the Netflix is so affectionately called, and I handed my son the Joy-Con, and he was just jumping around in Mario.
Adorable.
He kept dying to the Goombas, but I mean, it's a thought that counts, right?
One day you're gonna hand him the controller and he's gonna beat the entire game without dying once.
Then I know I have a prodigy.
I can't even get past World 1 in Mario Brothers without a warp pipe.
I will say, I don't think I ever told you this, Rohan. The boy knows his Pokemon.
Oh, does he?
He does. If you ask him, go get Charmander, he'll go dig through his toy pile and bring out his Charmander plush, and he'll bring it to you.
That's adorable.
It's great.
But yeah, that pretty much covers my gameplay this week. besides work, taking care of the small child, try to squeeze in time when I can. But that about covers that. And if we don't have any other final thoughts for this segment, we can go ahead and jump into our topic if you gentlemen are ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds pretty Gucci to me.
All right, you guys, we'll go ahead and drop the second segment here, and we will jump into our final. We will be right back. And welcome to our final segment, you guys, where we'll pick a topic about anything under the video game sun, and we will have a discussion on it. Pegasus, what is the topic for this week?
Well, the topic this week, as was thought of by Mr. Raging Gingy himself, is reboots and sequels for games that you would want to see.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So I figured go ahead and start with an example. One of my favorite series that I've played growing up as a kid was Mega Man, and more specifically the Battle Network version of Mega Man. Because there were 6 different games released. Battle Network 1, 2, 3 blue and 3 white, 4 red sun and blue moon, 5
because
Team
they were
Turtle,
like, hey, Pokemon
Team
makes more
Protoman.
money by having 2 versions of the same game. So
Correct.
let's do that.
And then there was the final installments that was Battle Network 6, Team Cyber Beast, Gregar, and Cyber Beast Falzar. But with how BN6 ended, I would want a continuation of the Battle Network series, just in general, because at the time that game ended, the main character grew up, married his wife, and had a kid. So I would want a game to continue on from the main character's son. You can create a whole new storyline, new everything with them, but they never went back to it. And granted, yeah, Pegasus, you brought it up before that there technically is a sequel of Battle Network, and that's Star Force, but I was more wanting like a Battle Network 7 game.
Yeah, I mean, Star Force was different, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was different. It came out on the DS. And completely different gameplay compared to the Battle Network series.
Yeah, the only thing the same was the continuity.
Right. But that is the one game that comes to mind. Pegasus, what about you, sir? What's a game that comes to mind that you would want to see either a reboot or a sequel?
Can we get a new Jazz Jackrabbit game?
Just for you, yes.
Jazz Jackrabbit is amazing. Are you both at all familiar with Jazz Jackrabbit?
I am a little bit.
Rohan?
Jazz Jacker, wasn't that kind of like the Sonic clone? I mean, not so much a clone, but
it was a little Sonic-ish, yes.
And there were 2 of them, right?
Yeah, there were 2 games, and apparently there was a GBA reboot, which I've never touched. But yeah, I want to see a modern Jazz Jackrabbit. You could make a first-person shooter out of that. That'd be like a really fun FPS based on Jazz Jackrabbit. Because it was like one of those like 2D shooter games where you ran around and it was like kind of like a beat 'em up, but you shot things. Shoot 'em ups, I believe is the term.
Yeah, kind of like a Contra.
Yeah,
I'm dating myself
like,
here.
It was sort of like that. For like a reboot, they could probably do like an FPS. I think that'd be really charming. Have Jazz Jackrabbit as an FPS. Shooting up them robot tortoises.
All right.
I love Jazz Jack. I love how Jazz Jackrabbit is just a futuristic sequel to the Tortoise and the Hare. It's like an intergalactic war between rabbits and turtles.
All right, Mr. Rohane, are there any particular games that comes to you?
So, right off the top of my head, and this isn't like a super old game. In fact, it's pretty young as far as games go, but it's kind of a hidden gem. I don't know if either of you are familiar with the game Cave Story.
It's not ringing a bell
I
with me.
played the demo of that on my Wii way back in the old days.
Way back in the old days. So, Cave
In the
Story.
long ago.
So, Cave Story is a game that originally came out on the depths of the internet, such as it was. I mean, not that far long ago, but back in like 2006. And it was made by one guy, single indie game dev. And it's
Wow.
a side-scrolling 2D platform shooter. And it was very reminiscent of like a 8-bit or a 16-bit game. But it was a lot of fun, and back in ye olde days when you didn't have a whole lot of money to buy new games, it was a lot of fun to play. And it has its a very unique storyline, which isn't very common when it comes to platform shooter games. Basically, you end up without wanting to go into too much of a spoiler. You wake up in a dark cave, no memory of who you are, and you encounter this village on an island with these creatures called Amigas, and they're basically like innocent rabbit-like creatures. But apparently there's a maniacal scientist on the island, and he's enslaving the Amigas, and you're basically going to free them. And it's a fantastic game. If you don't have it, I think this free version is still floating out there in the internet somewhere. And you can also get it on Steam. But I would really like to see a remake of that or a remastering of that.
Didn't they like port that to the Switch recently, if I'm remembering correctly?
Say again?
I feel like they ported that to the Switch recently.
He may have ported it to the Switch. Again, it was only him as a developer, last I heard of.
Yeah, I remember it being on the Wii Shop channel. I'd say go get it on the Wii Shop channel, but you can't get funds on the Wii Shop channel anymore. Rip in peace.
Rip and pasta.
Insert sad piano music here.
Actually, the first time I bought something from the Wii Shop channel was the day before you couldn't add money to it anymore.
That's hilarious.
I bought Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles so I could play Sonic 3 and Knuckles on a home console.
All right. Another game that comes to mind for me that I would want at this point, maybe just like a remastered port to current gen systems. Back in 2003, I played it on the GameCube. The game is called Metal Arms Glitch in the System. Are you guys familiar with this one?
I have heard of that game, but
I haven't even.
But right now, like, it escapes my brain. Like, I know the name, and I know the name of the game. I can kind of visualize it, but I can't like put gameplay to title.
Right. The game came out in 2003, and it follows a robot by the name of Glitch as he joins forces with the droids in their fight against General Corrosive and his Millbots. And it's the game itself is set on the planet Ironstar that was built by an ancient race, Morbots, out of scrap metal and space junk. The Morbots are rumored to still inhabit the star's core, where the surface dwellers venture for fear of deactivation and destruction, and you essentially go through the game, to get different upgrades for for Glitch, and you fight against General Corrosive and his minions. And I remember playing that game all the time. Besides playing Pokemon, I thoroughly enjoyed Metal Arms, and inadvertently pissing off Blockbuster because I rent it out for months at a time and never returning it.
That's great.
But I would at this point love to see just a port of it. A sequel would be absolutely amazing, but
You know what game I want to see a sequel to?
what is that?
I want to see a sequel to the Deadpool game.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Deadpool game was pretty cool. I've actually never got my hands on it myself, but from what I've seen, it looks really fun, and it's obviously hilarious writing because it's Deadpool. And I'd love to see a new Deadpool video game.
Speaking about new games and remakes, are the two of you aware that Spyro the Dragon is getting a remake?
Yes.
Yep, the reignited trilogy.
I am so happy. I am probably going to get a PlayStation 4 just to play that.
That reminds me, because reignited trilogy reminds me of Insane trilogy, which reminds me of, can we get a Crash Twinsanity HD remake?
Or how about a Banjo-Kazooie?
There's never going to be a Crash remake ever. The more that we want a Crash remake, the more it's not going to happen. It's kind of like Half-Life 3 in that regards.
Why that makes me think back to that one, I want to say it's State Farm, where the Fisher guy has a $1 bill on a fishing rod that's right in front of the girl's face. But instead it's the studio with the Crash remakes, like, ooh, you almost got it.
Wow.
Trying to think of others that I would want a sequel or a reboot. Any other games come to mind for you, Ryan?
I'm trying to think of like specific ones. A new, maybe not a remake because it's not super old, but a new Silent Hunter game might be nice. For those of you unaware, Silent Hunter is a submarine simulator game, basically, for lack of a better term.
Thought of, Gingy? Was this one of our failed recordings, or did we already do this topic?
No, we didn't.
Deja vu.
No. But continue on, man.
So yeah, Silent Hunter. You run around. You're a submarine in World War II or Cold War, depending on the era. You beat boop along and you sink ships. It's kind of fun, not for the faint of heart. But the last one I think was Silent Hunter 4, and apparently it was a flaming dumpster fire. So not a lot of people liked it.
A flaming dumpster fire?
Yes, I realize that's redundant, flaming dumpster fire, but it has extra flames.
Wow. A Charmander got his hands on it.
Basically.
I would definitely
real quick
want
tangent from the World Tour. I got stuck with a Charmander, and he's really not good. At least for Cycle 1, he's really not. Patrick bent my Charmander over. It was bad.
Poor Charmander.
Poor little charcoal.
But I would want and this has been a recurring thing for a few of our episodes at this point, I would want Infamous 1 and 2 to be ported to PS4. Give them a remastered version.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. You kind of cut out for me.
A remastered version of Infamous 1 and 2.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Gingy is the infamous boy.
Love Infamous. Easily, hands down, my favorite game on PS3.
The infamous Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I can't picture Delson anymore, except sitting on that throne.
All the inside jokes that Rohan doesn't understand.
It's okay.
Trying to think. I haven't seen a title from it lately. I would want either a port or a sequel, but do you guys remember playing Monster Rancher?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want Monster Rancher to come back. Can't remember what the last title was for it.
I feel like, was it not just the one? I can only remember just the one.
No, I don't think that's... I have no idea.
Wow, Gingy.
I know.
Can we also get a new Super Monkey Ball? Because that game was good, clean fun. You're a monkey, you're in a ball, you do mini games, you make your family hate you. It's fun times all around.
I love Super Monkey Ball on the GameCube. Oh, speaking of that, can we please, either like in the form of similar of
Gingy,
like
I just want you to
Netflix...
know that I investigated and I have confirmed that we have indeed done this topic before.
Have we really?
Yes, this was episode's 3 topic. Well, not it specifically. We talked about sequels or ports, but it's close enough that it's kind of funny.
Whoops.
Whatever, we can put a disclaimer in the description and everything will be fine.
This is part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2 sequel Boogaloo.
There we go. But no, that reminded me. Can we like something similar to Netflix? How we have all those NES games for Switch Online. Can we get either probably a port of Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness for our Switch with full Pokebank compatibility?
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. But at least Colosseum and XD.
I mean, technically,
what I was really hoping for back when we first got Virtual Console Pokemon releases was that they were going to release Pokemon Stadium on Wii U Virtual Console and allow connection to the 3DS Virtual Console Gen 1 games.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Oh, I forgot to mention that real quick. I just wanted to say I played Pokemon Stadium with my friends today. We actually got the random Pokemon generator up and we randomly generated our teams with rental Pokemon, and it was really fun.
How did that work for you?
I actually won against both of my friends because they both suck.
Well, there you go. Good job. I'm proud of you.
So proud of you.
My friend made a stupid decision that allowed me to easily dispatch of a Wartortle with a Charmeleon, which is something that shouldn't have happened.
Uh-oh.
Well, mistakes were made.
It stupidly used rest, and then it switched out, so it still had 2 sleep turns, and I just seismic tossed it to death.
Ouch. All right.
Anyway, that actually brings me to a good one. Can we get a Pokemon Stadium 3 with connection to current titles?
Ooh.
Have all the non-cover legendary and mythics available as rentals?
Or can we get a Gen 7 mystery dungeon that's similar to Red Rescue Team on the good old GBA days?
I mean, I think
Not the new crap.
all Mystery Dungeon games are mechanically like very similar.
I didn't like the last one with how they did the capture mechanic for the different Pokemon.
There
It was
was a capture
legitimately
mechanic in
plain.
Super Mystery Dungeon?
I don't necessarily even want to call it a capture mechanic. You play the game for 20 minutes, and right at the beginning, you get a level 50 Salamence.
Fun.
It's not, because honestly, I remember playing it, and I would make the Salamence go first into the boss battle.
I really want to get Gates to Infinity because I had
Fun.
played the Gates to Infinity demo and it looks really fun, and I want to pick
I've
it up.
beaten Gates to Infinity. It's a lot of fun. But what about you, Rohan? Any other games that you can think of, sir?
No, not off the top of my head. Everything else that I could want is, for the most part, like in progress to some extent or other.
You know what I want? I want like a 3-pack of like HD, like current, like style remakes of the 3 PlayStation 2 GTA games: GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas.
Ooh.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Updated with like GTA 5 style graphics.
Or could we potentially get a sequel to Detective Pikachu, but make it longer and more in depth?
Can we get a sequel to Detective Pikachu where Pikachu's played by Danny DeVito?
God.
The dream will never die. I mean, to be honest, I'm still like in awe that Pikachu on the Detective Pikachu on the big screen is getting played by the same dude who played fucking Deadpool.
I'm waiting for some Deadpool reference.
It's coming.
No, I'm waiting for Deadpool 3 to reference Detective Pikachu.
Is there going to be a Deadpool 3?
I
There
think
is.
Is there
X
really?
is going to be an
There
X-Force
is.
movie. Oh, there's also Deadpool Before Christmas, which is like the Deadpool, which is basically PG-13 Deadpool 2 with 15 minutes of new footage, according to what we know.
Huh. You know, I will say, I don't necessarily want to say spoiler, but the part in, you guys have seen Deadpool 2, right?
Yeah.
The scene where they're all sitting in, God, what's her name? The black lady, the blind one?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm spacing her name for a moment. I can't remember her name.
I liked the part in Deadpool 1 when he left and he told that blind lady, like, there's like a pound of cocaine hidden somewhere next to the cure for blindness. Good luck.
I can't remember her name, but it's a
Blind Al. Is her
there
name.
we go. It was a scene where they were all sitting in there, and he was still regenerating his bottom legs, so they were just the baby legs, and he was crossing them, and oh, that scene had me dying in the movie theater.
No, I remember the scene where T.J. Miller's character got interrogated by Cable. Then he comes back and he tells Deadpool, "I only told them everything they wanted to know."
Right. And the last game that comes to mind for me that I can think of is Metabots. If you guys
Oh,
remember.
I found out about that from the World Tour United April Fool's episode.
Have you ever played Metabots, Rohan?
Nope.
Oh. It's
I've never played it. I just listened to Metabots World Tour United.
yeah,
The episode.
the quick version I wanted to just briefly touch was the MetaB version that came out for the Game Boy Advance. It was a 2D top down role playing game that came out in Oh, I lost my train of thought. In 1999, and
Yeah, after listening to Metabots World Tour United, I actually did put Metabots, one of the Metabots GBA games, on my RetroPie. I just never got the chance to touch it.
right, the Metabots are little robots that you can collect and venture out in the world, and you can fight other Metabot users, and the whole combat system is interesting because it's always a 3v3.
This is starting to sound kind of like Fossil Fighters. Yo, can we get a new Fossil Fighters game? Any of you ever played any of the Fossil Fighters games?
I have not.
I have not either.
They were on the DS. I think there might have been one for the 3DS, but that I'm not sure of. But I know there were two for the DS, where it's like a 3v3 RPG where you collect dinosaur fossils and revive them, and they fight for you. And they're called Vivosaurs.
Huh.
Because they're revived. Oh, funny. Yeah, Fossil Fighters is really good. I have an actual physical copy of Fossil Fighters that I actually bought in preparation for a podcast that never happened, which is kind of funny. So I wasted my hard-earned $5. Thanks, Brad. But I'm kidding though. Fossil Fighters is a great game.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the end. Can you guys think of any other potential games that you would want to see?
I'm giving it a deep think. I'm trying to think of a good
Beyblade.
line.
Anything Beyblade.
Yes!
Ooh.
Beyblade is great. Yo, can we get a sequel? Can we get an HD current console re-release of Barney's Hide and Seek for the Sega Genesis?
You need to slap yourself for that one.
And why did you not bring up Magic School Bus?
Was there a video game based on that?
I'm sure there was.
I'm sure there was. Man, I was really upset to find out that there's only one video game based on the Flash, and it's a Game Boy Advance game, and it's probably the worst game I've ever laid my eyes and hands on. How dare you do my Flash like that?
Oh well. Any other games come to mind for you, Rohan, besides Beyblade?
Not at the moment. I'm sure that, once we stop recording, they'll come to mind. But
You'll get like 80,000 ideas, be like, crap.
Yeah. It's like, I should have talked about that one.
Can we get a Pokemon Snap sequel?
Here, and I'll drop this one. And this is mainly because the fan project actually just got a cease and desist letter from LucasArts, but the remake of the original KOTOR, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, that'd be great.
Wow, the fan project got CD'd. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. That happened actually just yesterday.
Gone like Pokemon Uranium. Gone in the wind.
Yeah.
But all right. Fortunately, gonna have to cut it there, you guys. Pegasus, where can our wonderful listeners find you, sir?
You can follow me on Twitter at PegasusTheGame1. Your best bet to reach us personally. Reach me personally. I'm not speaking for Gingy and Ro. Reach me personally is our community Discord. You can either talk to me in the channels, or you can DM me. I'm all ears. I make YouTube content on the YouTube channel Pegasus the Gamer. I'm on another podcast called Ghost of Gaming Future. You can find on YouTube on the channel Ghost of Gaming Future. I'm also soon going to be on a new podcast called Pokemon Variety Hour with our friend Gingy and also our friend Penguin Mage, which we're actually recording the first couple episodes of tomorrow morning. So that's hype.
Dope. You're a busy man.
Yeah, I'm becoming like the Omni podcaster. Like all of the podcasts forever. Like I was about to announce another new one because I kind of lost vigor for Cowabunga Cast. So instead, I'm starting another new podcast called Into the Arrowverse, where I'm going to watch all of the episodes of the DC TV universe in chronological order.
All right. Did you mention your Twitch yet, Pegasus?
I don't stream on that anymore, and I already mentioned the name change earlier. Yeah, you wanna go see my Twitch? Go ahead at twitch.tv/JollyLovesBidoof6969.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's where you can find me.
Mr. Rohane, where can our wonderful listeners find you, sir?
So you can find me on Twitter, which is nowadays the easiest way to get a hold of me, at the real Rohane. Lately, I've been really into Vampire the Masquerade and watching Geek and Sundry's playthrough of that. Sometimes you might see me on Twitch if the mood strikes me, which is twitch.tv.
Oh, by the way, Rohan, I wanted to tell you, since your favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Emerald, I'm actually Let's Playing Pokemon Emerald on my YouTube channel. Should look at that, maybe. Wink, wink.
Perfect. I have an excuse to watch you now.
Great.
No pressure. I do have a youtube.com/POSM gaming,
I
where
actually don't know. Part 8 was supposed to be coming today, but I think my editor screwed it up.
Don't.
My editor's bad. I recorded Emerald Part 8 and 9 like a month ago.
Oof.
And they still aren't.
But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, you guys, you can find me at my
Emerald
personal.
Part 8.
You can follow me at my personal Twitter at Raging Gingy. You can follow the show at PPAF Podcast. Still all relatively new. We do have a TeePublic store, which is teepublic.com/user/PPAF Podcast 1. We now also have a Patreon if you guys are able to donate anything. Just to remind you guys, it goes directly into the show and it does not go to me or Pegasus directly. And only if you have the extra amount, take care of yourselves first. There we also have our community Discord, which we will always drop the invite link down below. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can always email us if you don't want to talk to us in Discord. And our email for the show is ppandfpodcast@gmail.com. That about wraps it up, you guys. Any final thoughts?
I want to put my head into a juicer.
Oh
Don't do
no.
That'd be a little bit gruesome. That'd be hard for your wife to clean up.
I mean, not to explode my head, just to, juice it a little.
Get a nice slushy.
Oh, that's gross.
All right, you guys, this has been the 12th episode of Pixels, Polygons, and Fun, a video game podcast where we talk about anything under the video game sun. I am your host, Raging Gingy.
I am Pegasus, and my question is, what the fuck even is Lear?
My name is Rohan. Goodbye.
All right, you guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.